In the vast Arctic, where snow covers everything and the winds erase all traces, the Inuit always know the way. No maps, no signs, just generations of wisdom guiding every step. For countless years, the Inuit have navigated this frozen world with ease. In a land where survival depends on reading nature itself, they move with skill and certainty. Today, we'll uncover how they cross this endless ice, finding their way home without modern tools. In the Arctic, when the land vanishes beneath snow and the sky turns to a blanket of gray, the wind becomes the Arctic's most reliable guide. In a land where the horizon is often hidden behind swirling snow and ice, traditional compasses and modern devices can become unreliable. For the Inuit, the wind fills this void. It acts as a living compass, providing direction when the landscape offers no visible cues. The Arctic wind is not just a gust of cold air, it is a directional force. Across much of the Arctic, the wind predominantly blows from the north or northeast, creating a consistent pattern that the Inuit have come to trust. This predictability is essential when navigating a region where whiteouts can erase even the most familiar landmarks. Inuit hunters and travelers have developed an acute sensitivity to the wind's touch. By noticing the angle at which the cold air grazes their cheeks or the way it pushes against their bodies, they can discern cardinal directions. This ability becomes a personal navigation system that functions even in near-zero visibility conditions. In fact, when storms roll in and the land disappears beneath heavy snow, Inuit hunters often rely entirely on this sensory relationship with the wind to find their way home or locate hunting grounds. Beyond simply feeling the wind, the Inuit have a detailed system of wind classification. Some Inuit communities recognize up to 16 distinct wind directions, each with specific names. This nuanced vocabulary illustrates how deeply wind knowledge is integrated into daily life and survival strategies. Elders often express this relationship with clarity, stating that understanding the winds is akin to reading a map drawn by nature itself. As long as the wind's voice is understood, direction can always be found, no matter how disorienting the Arctic landscape becomes. This living compass is especially critical during the long, dark Arctic winters when the sun's position is unreliable and snow obscures familiar routes. The wind not only orients travelers but also informs them about changes in weather and impending storms, providing warnings that can be the difference between survival and peril. While the wind offers a reliable guide across the open tundra, Inuit navigation does not stop with the elements. To move through the Arctic's complex and changing terrain, another tool is used, one that resides entirely within the mind. Inuit maps are not drawn, they are remembered. In the Arctic, where physical landmarks may vanish under snowdrifts and ice sheets, the Inuit rely on a different form of cartography. Mental maps passed through generations via stories and personal experience. These mental maps are built through years of traversing the same lands, internalizing every slope, boulder, and snowbank from the ground-level perspective of a traveler. Unlike Western maps that offer a detached bird's-eye view, Inuit maps are intimately tied to how a person moves through the environment. Landmarks are described using personal and cultural references. A stone may be known because it resembles an animal or a familiar face. A snow-covered hill might be remembered as the whale's back, while a group of jagged rocks could be likened to a hunter kneeling. These unique identifiers make navigation more accessible and relatable, anchoring memory to the landscape. What makes this system remarkably effective is its flexibility. Arctic landscapes shift constantly as ice cracks, snow patterns change, and seasonal cycles alter familiar paths. Inuit travelers continuously adapt their mental maps to these evolving terrains, making their knowledge dynamic rather than fixed. This adaptive system is taught and preserved through oral storytelling. Stories shared by elders, hunters, and families are packed with navigational knowledge. A simple tale may contain vital information about which ridges remain safe in late winter or where sea ice typically fractures. These oral accounts often combine survival tips, environmental markers, and cultural values, transforming each journey into a lesson in both geography and heritage. Inuit mental maps are also multisensory. Beyond visual cues, navigators use auditory and tactile information. The hollow sound of thin ice underfoot, the feel of soft snow signaling a drift, or the muted cracking of distant ice are all woven into their understanding of the land. These sensory inputs work together, enhancing the mental picture and allowing travelers to make fast, life-saving decisions. More than just a tool for movement, mental mapping sustains Inuit identity. Each story reinforces a collective understanding of the environment and strengthens social bonds between generations. As the Arctic continues to change due to environmental pressures, this system remains resilient, evolving to meet new challenges while preserving the knowledge and culture of the Inuit people. When the wind calms and the land fades under a moonlit sky, the Inuit turn their gaze upward. In the stillness of Arctic nights, the heavens become their next guide. In the Arctic night, the stars are not just lights, they are ancient road signs. For centuries, the Inuit have used the night sky as a powerful tool for navigation. The stars are deeply familiar to them, much like how people might know the layout of their own neighborhood. They recognize constellations and star patterns, using them to move safely across vast stretches of frozen wilderness. One of the most important tools is the North Star, or Polaris. Unlike other stars that move across the sky, the North Star holds steady, always pointing north. But for the Inuit, it does more than mark direction. By noting how high or low Polaris appears above the horizon, they can estimate how far north or south they have traveled. A lower star means they've shifted southward. A higher one suggests they are farther north. This subtle reading helps them stay on course even in featureless terrain. Other constellations also play key roles. The Northern Cross may guide them toward distant mountains or hunting grounds, while star clusters closer to the horizon might point toward safe coastal routes or familiar landmarks. The moon, too, is a critical guide. The Inuit use it as both a timekeeper and a compass. By observing how the moon rises and sets, they can judge the time of year and their general location. The phase of the moon, combined with its position in the sky, offers information that goes beyond simple orientation. While many cultures depend on calendars, the Inuit can tell if it's early winter or deep into the cold season just by watching the moon. However, Arctic skies are not always clear. In summer, when the midnight sun dominates, or when overcast skies hide the stars, the Inuit return to reading the landscape below. When the sky is hidden and celestial signs disappear, the land itself becomes a map written in ice and snow. In the Arctic, the ground beneath the feet is as telling as the stars above. For the Inuit, the frozen Arctic is full of signs hidden in plain sight. The snow and ice are not just part of the landscape, they are like pages in a book, telling travelers what to expect and where to go. Snowdrifts, for example, offer more than just a surface to walk on. Their shape and feel can tell whether the ground ahead is safe or dangerous. When a snowdrift is smooth and tightly packed, it often means the ground underneath is firm and stable. But if the snow is soft and loose, it might be covering a steep drop, weak ice, or an area where avalanches could happen. The ice is just as important. Cracks on frozen lakes are like messages. Thin, straight cracks that spread out evenly often mean the ice is thick and strong, but wide, uneven cracks warn of weak spots that could break under pressure. The Inuit can read these patterns to decide where it's safe to cross and where they should turn back. The surface of the ice gives even more clues. Ice that looks clear or has a bluish color is usually strong, made from long periods of cold. But when the ice looks cloudy or milky, what some call rotten ice, it's a sign that the ice is soft and dangerous, often because warmer weather has started to melt it. Rotten ice is risky and can break without warning. Snow also tells a story through how it feels. Hard, crusty snow on top might make it easier to walk, but underneath, there could be weak layers or hidden cracks. Light, fluffy snow can cover holes or cracks in the ice below, hiding dangers from plain sight. The way snow feels underfoot, whether it gives way or stays firm, helps Inuit travelers quickly sense what kind of terrain they are crossing. To the Inuit, the land is not a blank sheet of white. It is full of hidden patterns and details that change all the time. They treat snow and ice not as problems to solve, but as tools to guide them. By watching, listening, and feeling the ground beneath their feet, they move safely across even the most dangerous and changing parts of the Arctic. When wind, stars, and ice still leave questions unanswered, the Inuit look to the land's other inhabitants, the animals that share their world. In the Arctic, animals are more than wildlife. They are guides. The Inuit pay close attention to animals because their movements can reveal important clues about the land. By watching wildlife, they can spot dangers or find safe paths, especially when other signs, like the stars, wind, or clouds, are not easy to read. Birds, for example, act like natural guides. When geese or ravens fly south in groups, it is a clear signal that the seasons are changing, and that direction is south. This simple sign can help a traveler figure out which way to go when the sky and land offer no other clear hints. Larger animals, like caribou, are also carefully watched. Caribou herds often choose the safest paths across the tundra and ice, relying on instincts that have kept them alive for generations. When caribou move in a certain direction, it often means the ground ahead is firm, or the ice is strong enough to cross. By following the path of the herd, the Inuit can avoid areas where the land or ice might be weak or dangerous. Even small details make a difference. The tracks left behind by foxes can tell travelers what the snow and ice are like. If fox tracks wander freely across open areas, it usually means the ground is solid. But if the tracks stick to narrow, careful routes, it might be a warning that something ahead is unsafe, like thin ice or soft snow. For the Inuit, animals are more than part of the wild. They are teachers and helpers. By watching how animals behave, they gain extra knowledge about the land. These quiet lessons help Inuit travelers make smart choices and stay safe, even when the Arctic hides its usual clues. When even the animals go silent and the familiar land is veiled under deep snow, the Inuit find guidance above in the ever-changing patterns of the sky. The clouds in the Arctic are more than weather. They are silent navigators. For the Inuit, clouds are much more than decorations in the sky. They are essential tools that help people survive and make decisions in the harsh Arctic environment. Where others might only see shapes drifting above, Inuit travelers read clouds as if they are part of a map, offering clues about both the weather and the land. Different types of clouds act as quiet signals, sharing important information about what the next hours or even days might bring. For example, when soft, fluffy cumulus clouds gather low near the horizon, it usually means that the weather is calm and stable. Under these skies, travelers know they can safely continue their journey, with little worry about sudden storms or dangerous conditions. However, when the clouds change shape and color, the warning signs become clear. Thin, dark clouds stretching in streaks across the sky suggest that unsettled weather is on the way. These clouds often mean that strong winds, snow, or freezing rain could arrive soon. Inuit travelers reading these signs early may decide to adjust their course or seek shelter before the weather worsens. Clouds also reveal hidden details about the land itself. In the Arctic, where the ground is often covered in endless snow, the shadows cast by clouds can make the landscape easier to read. As clouds move across the sky, their shadows create patterns on the snowy surface below. These dark patches reveal the shape of the land, showing low spots, like valleys and dips, or high points, like ridges and hills. What might look like a flat and empty plain becomes a more detailed, readable surface thanks to the shadows moving across it. Some clouds deliver even stronger warnings. Thick, heavy layers of gray clouds, known as nimbostratus, signal serious weather ahead. These clouds often carry heavy snow or blizzards. When the Inuit see them hanging low across the sky, they know that it might be too dangerous to continue. Stopping early and waiting out the storm could save lives. Beyond reading the sky for travel decisions, clouds also help Inuit travelers prepare mentally. Spotting early signs of rough weather allows them to stay calm and avoid rushing into unsafe conditions. They know that reading the clouds carefully can help them avoid being caught in storms, blizzards, or freezing winds far from shelter. In the Arctic, where the land and weather can change quickly and dangerously, clouds serve as silent partners in survival. The Inuit have learned to treat the sky as a living guide, using it to stay safe and make smart choices every day. Their ability to read these subtle signals is a key reason they can thrive in one of the most unpredictable environments on Earth. Yet there are times when even the sky disappears. When the land, sea, and sky blend into a white void, the Inuit must rely on their deepest instincts. In the Arctic, fog and whiteouts erase the world, but not the Inuit's ability to navigate. Fog and whiteout conditions are some of the most dangerous situations anyone can face in the Arctic. When these conditions set in, the entire world seems to disappear. The snow, sky, and land blend into one bright, featureless scene where the horizon fades and familiar landmarks vanish without a trace. In these moments, tools like wind direction, star positions, or cloud patterns are no longer visible. The usual guides the Inuit depend on are hidden behind walls of fog or a blanket of blinding white light. But through centuries of experience, the Inuit have learned how to navigate safely in these extreme situations, relying on skills passed down from generation to generation. One of the first things they do in dense fog is sharpen their senses. Sight may be useless, but sound and smell become key. The Inuit listen carefully for the sound of waves hitting the ice. The direction and sharpness of this sound help them locate open water and avoid drifting onto sea ice where danger might lie just ahead. Echoes, too, offer clues. The way a sound bounces back from the surroundings can tell them whether there are cliffs, open land, or hollow areas nearby. Some Inuit can even use smell to guide their movements. In fog, the air itself carries information. The salty scent of seawater or the dry, crisp smell of snow-covered ground can reveal whether they are near the coast or deeper inland. Subtle differences in moisture or wind-borne particles help them tell one type of ice or land from another. In whiteouts, where even fog gives way to total visual confusion, experienced Inuit travelers take no chances. They slow down, moving cautiously and testing the ground with each step. Often, they will choose to stop completely, setting up a temporary shelter or camp. Waiting patiently is sometimes the safest choice when the risk of walking into thin ice, a hidden crevasse, or unstable snow is too high. However, when they must keep moving, they rely on small but critical signs. The way snow feels underfoot, whether it is soft, crusty, or hollow, can signal changes in terrain. A firm surface might indicate solid ground, while softer snow may warn of snowdrifts or hidden cracks below. Even slight variations in how their boots sink into the snow give useful feedback. Sound continues to play a vital role. The distant call of seabirds, the barking of seals, or the howl of a fox can hint at nearby landforms or open water. Travelers may also search for the dim glow of sunlight hidden behind the fog, using the direction of light to stay oriented. These skills go beyond basic survival. They reflect a way of life shaped by respect for the Arctic's power. The Inuit know that nature is unpredictable and that rushing forward in confusion is dangerous. Patience, caution, and a deep connection to their environment are what keep them safe. Over time, this calm and thoughtful approach has allowed the Inuit to survive in conditions where most others would be lost within minutes. Their methods are proof that knowledge of the smallest details, the sound of ice, the texture of snow, or the scent of the air, can mean the difference between safety and disaster in the Arctic's most extreme moments. The Arctic holds many more stories of Inuit resilience and knowledge. Explore more of their world by watching our other videos. You'll learn something new every time.